Welcome, Mary. I'm so excited that we get to have this conversation. How you feeling today?
Thank you. Thank you. Feeling
Yeah.
good. Feeling good. It's a nice morning and had my tea, had my breakfast, had a little walk about the yard and good way to
Yeah,
start the day.
it is. It is. So we're going to be talking about the Inhabit process. This is our 9-month women's embodiment circle called Inhabit, the Inhabit program. And just for anyone listening, a little backstory. Mary and I have known each other for a long, long time. And have been working together in some capacity for about 15 years. And the Inhabit program is now going into its fourth annual iteration. And Mary's been with us like since the start, solid year after year. So thank you first for your enthusiasm and for your willingness to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for me. So if we zoom back in time, about 3 years ago was our first Inhabit program. Can you share a little bit about what life was like for you then, and what you felt stirred up in you with the invitation to join Inhabit for that first time?
Sure, sure. Um, I guess I've always been curious about my life and how can I live with peace and ease within my daily living and without with moving forward and instead of always getting stuck on the hamster wheel or stuck in grief or stuck in shame. And
Mm.
so inhabit intrigued me for that reason. The cyclical part of it too, I that was a curiosity, and I'm enjoying it now. I'm really enjoying it. But
Mm.
mainly just to shift the patterns, the negativity, and something different, something new, ready to engage in something new, I
Mm.
guess was the big the big draw, but also scary because it's a little fearful to go in, and to go in you have to go through in order to see that light. And I think
Mm.
I'm seeing the light. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess in a nutshell, that's kind of how I thought about it, even though I was afraid. But um, sometimes you have to push yourself, and it was a good push. It was a good push.
A loving nudge, as we call it sometimes.
Yes,
um,
yes,
yeah. So, when the first Inhabit program started, you had spent a number of years in your career, like we do, and you were coming kind of right on the cusp of retirement. I think in that first Inhabit program, shortly after we began, you had your retirement party, right? And had this big shift in your life. Can you talk through a little bit about what it was like to face retirement and maybe how Inhabit supported you through that or through that transition?
yes, yes. Uh, Actually, I retirement was something I was looking forward to, and a perfect kind of a segue, so to speak, to give myself that devoted time, that devoted practice, that um, I just felt like I was hungry for a lot of this information that was new, or that was showing me ways that I could shift it, could try. So I just feel fortunate that retirement when I did retire, it was a gift to myself to join Inhabit and whatever may be, I did a few things that I knew I wanted to do when I did retire, like um, setting aside different goals or um, what else did I do? Just devoted certain things to certain times, mainly goals, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to be retired with all this time, with all this time to relearn um to learn to implement the everyday things in life. So
Mm,
it was a perfect connection there for me.
yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. And I think any rite of passage for us as women, um, it brings questions. It brings a renegotiation of like, well, now what? Who am I now? And like you said, what a gift that you had maybe the rapport or relationship of our work over the years to then also say, oh, this new thing called Inhabit that Sherry's up to, that's speaking to me. And I get to give myself this time and devotion and care now that I'm not pouring that out into my work, my career, going and showing up to an imposed schedule from our job, so to speak. And now I get to create my schedule. What do I want this second spring to look like? And I know that phrase, second spring, has been helpful or meaningful for you. So, a second spring in terms of the end of our fertile time and our steps into eldering or queendom, as some people might call it, like becoming a queenager instead of a teenager, right? Like the kind of awkward pubertyness of menopause and being on the other side of that threshold at
Hmm.
this stage of life saying, oh, I get all of this for me. So can you tell me one thing about that second spring, some way of flourishing or blooming or like the glimmers that you have found in this stage of life?
Hmm. Hmm. Rest is a big part of the second spring, to give myself that time to rest and reflect on life, on s- stuff, on yeah, and kind of owning the second spring. I think you're the one who enlightened me with that term. So I thought, yeah, this is my time to do what I want to do.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What did I say here? Yeah, like this, to open my heart,
Mm.
to go in and then just to see that light. It's it's just sparkly. It's awesome. Let's just
I
say
feel
that.
sparkly. Yes.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
before hitting record commenting on the beautiful complexion and your hair and this red lipstick that was something you bought for your mom and now has returned to you full circle and that you decided to wear it today.
Yeah.
I'm noticing also the Women Who Run with the Wolves book, on your
Oh,
desk,
yes.
which is what I
Yes.
always say is the unofficial textbook of the Inhabit program. So if I can fill in a couple blanks for a couple details, I should say. One is the way that you are tending flowers, right? That you've shifted from your career, your own career, and working in healthcare, administrative duties, to now supporting your family's budding business, right? And you're out tending the garden and watering the flowers and talking them along and, enjoying the harvest of that beauty growing on your land in your yard. And I know that's been a really beautiful part of this retirement phase of life for you.
Yeah.
Um, I also love the fact that you are bringing your courage into your relationship with yourself and your own body. Pelvic floor health, sensuality, all of the above, right? Not going to get into details, but truly this is a second spring, and that you're enjoying that process for yourself, reclaiming some pieces of yourself now, from when you were younger, and how that is again flourishing in your relationship, your partnership at home. So it's beautiful. It's really beautiful to watch, and I'm grateful that you let us see you and know you. I want to circle back to something you said earlier, Mary, about like patterns and kind of being like, I'm done with this feeling stuck. I'm done with the stuckness of, you mentioned grief, you mentioned shame, um, just patterns, ruts, right? That kind of like get us into the pit, and then sometimes we're stuck in the pit. And one of the ways that that has changed that I've witnessed and you've shared with me is with like your digestive system. Are you comfortable talking about kind of what used to happen in your GI system and then now what you feel instead? One of those patterns that has indeed shifted in a really powerful way.
Yes, yes, that's a huge plus for me. And it's probably the pattern of showing me and implementing, then regulating my nervous system.
Mhm.
Um, and it really did shift, um, because when grief and when I think overwhelm, shame, when some of that comes in, um, by allowing me to practice every day, which I pretty much do now because I'm retired. So it's very nice. And it subtly it allowed me to shift that from being able to allow it to come, to move through it.
Mhm.
Um, and like you would say, you sometimes have to be in that grief. You have to be in that bubble. What else is there? What else is possible? So that's a big one for me. The what else?
Mhm.
So and then all of a sudden I'm noticing, well, geez, I haven't went down that path. Every couple months would happen, and
Mhm.
I'd be out sometimes for 10 days, just kind of blah, yuck, in both body and mind. It was just like, I felt like it was so isolating to be in that. But
Yeah.
yet I didn't know how to get out of it. It just gradually, I felt better. I probably was starving because I really didn't eat much during that time because everything just really got my gut, really
Mhm.
twisted and yuck stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy that it still comes, stuff still comes at you, of course, but I think I'm able to ride with it with much more ease. Do I still
Mhm.
feel bad sometimes? Sure, sure, but
Yeah.
I think I know how to handle it a little better. I'm learning to handle it. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for describing that had been a pattern in your body and your mind, and for you specifically, digestive system, right? And each of us maybe has a different part of our body or a different sort of symptom presentation that can show
Mhm.
up when we're stressed, whether we consciously know we're stressed or there's sort of that subconscious emotional material that is wanting to be assimilated and integrated. But if we are avoiding it or suppressing it or negating it, even like, no, that's not happening. I don't feel that way. I shouldn't feel that way. I should be high vibes all the time or whatever. Or it's just like, this is too darn uncomfortable for me to even touch. In the
Mm-hmm.
past, I do hear you saying, I don't get taken out every 2 months with this GI stuff anymore. It's way less frequent. It's not a 10-day thing where I'm down for the count, but maybe just more of a blip of a couple days. And you're able to weather it. You're able to roll with it and welcome the emotion that's present so that it can actually move through, and not get stuck. And that's so huge, right? And
Yes.
I'll weave in just a snippet of yoga philosophy here, that yoga talks about how we don't just digest our food, but we also have to digest our experiences, thoughts, feelings, right? And so, whether that's like present moment stuff or circumstances and how well we can move and flow within present moment stuff, or sometimes it's long standing SHIT from when we were in our 20s or when we were growing up young in our family of origin, right? And sometimes those patterns are so persistent. And it's so exciting that after having that experience for years, that like, oh, there goes my stomach again, that now for the past 2, 3 years, with this steady support and connection with yourself, like that pattern has shifted, right?
Mm.
And you're literally more able to digest and flow with life. It's really exciting, and it's that vibrance in your skin, right? Of like, oh, check this out. Like, I don't have to be stuck in that way anymore. Yeah.
Right. Because,
Yeah, go.
I do, it just seems like it, not that I visit it, but it just comes through my mind or maybe sometimes my body. And it's like, self-compassion towards that negative feeling or negative, I guess it's feelings, like inside your body, what you're sensing. Um, and that's great. That's allowing that to be there because it's always been there. It's always going to be there, but just to see it in a different light
Mhm.
is, so I'm grateful for the teachings
I'm
to give me
grateful that
that.
you have committed to yourself,
Yes.
that like, I'm going to do this because you know what? It's working. I feel deep, lasting benefit, in your physical health, your mental, emotional health, and yeah, just being able to shift from this is negative to uncomfortable, I can't, towards, well, what is really here and what else is possible? And can I trust maybe that this is temporary or impermanent, maybe even wise and on purpose, right? That our body is like showing us something for good reason, and that we don't have to take up camp and live there for an indefinite amount of time, but that we can just trust this is a visitor. This is wisdom. This is a part of me that just wants care and attention. And if I can hold that part of me better, like, oh, cool, it doesn't have to create this whole cascade of issues or symptoms or more discomfort than what we started with. So it's really exciting. Okay, so we're 3 years in. Thank
Okay.
you so much for committing to this process and about to move into the fourth annual. So, what is your heartfelt desire for this next year? Your fourth cycle through the Inhabit process. If you could wave your magic wand, what I want most from this year's Inhabit process is poof.
To continue to learn and to, give myself that self-love in the connection with myself and then with others. Just it just blooms, I guess.
Mm,
um so to continue to see more clearly, to live life more
mm,
meaningful, um and to enjoy, and to enjoy to enjoy the mundane of what you're doing, and that wash, rinse, and repeat is
Yeah.
is so powerful, and yet it's so simple, but it's not. I mean, it's really like opening that.
Mm.
So continue with, I guess, the body baseline. That's my. I don't know if I answered this right.
There's, well, as we say in Inhabit, there's no way to get this wrong.
Yeah. To
So
continue with the heart womb connection, that heart has is leading me now, where before um I think it was pretty buried. You
mm,
know,
from buried to blooming,
there we go.
and more life, more enjoyment in both the kind of special, sacred peak moments that we can look forward to and welcome in. And like you said, the chop wood, carry water, mundane day to day, right? So inhabit is both that day to day rhythm we create through our habits, right? Like, what are we going to choose to do today? And will we give ourselves care and attention, and how? So those day-to-day mundane habits, that they can become simple yet powerful ways to land in ourselves and in our lives. And those more poignant moments or rites of passage, whether it's something happening in the family or a special outing or date with your spouse, or a goal with the flower beds, and what the business is up to, and you're supporting that for your family members, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, there's both. It's that both and the ability to keep blooming even at any age or any life stage, or through loss and grief and shame, that right, buried to blooming, that there's always something we can do to feel intact, to feel whole, to know that we're held and supported, and that our desires are whispering for us onward. Okay. So my last question is, if another person was facing this kind of decision point of like, am I going to stay buried, or dang, I want to bloom? Like, what more is there to life? Maybe I'm in retirement, maybe I'm postmenopausal. What would you say to that person who is thinking about making a shift, thinking about joining Inhabit?
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. It, it's so special to to just go through the group of us women, and it's so special with you leading with inquiry, with readings, with poems, with you know ritual. It's that I just hold so dear, that it's so special to do that with this group of us women, that
Mm.
and you're learning so much from everyone in it. We're learning from you, but we're learning from everybody, and it's just this shared special um hour and a half that we have, twice a month. And
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, looking forward to that. So it's really supportive. It's really supportive. So support yourself the best way you can.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's a really special thing that we have going, myself also. Of course, I may be biased. But I take it to heart that so many of you have completed the program, excuse me, and that so many people have returned to the program, right? Like, when we look at sort of the stats of online coaching or online programs, it's pretty abysmal, like, completion rates, right? Like, a lot of people will sign up for a thing, and then it sits in their inbox and they forget to log in, and they feel anonymous, or like nobody even knows or cares whether I complete this program. And like you said, the Inhabit program is meant to be intimate, real-time connection that feeds us, right? Like the whole circle is, as one woman shares, everybody gets nurtured and held by that, and everyone gains those insights of hearing someone else's process or story. And same goes for us as we learn to speak with that courage and trust of like, whatever's coming out of my mouth is gonna make sense somehow. It's gonna spur me forward in a good direction somehow. And we just keep trusting that process. It is really beautiful and really supportive. So thank you so much for sharing your experience, Mary.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Love you. See you soon.
Love you too.
Bye.